Hey guys, so we're going to jump right into Shakespearean sonnets and look at how I want you guys to annotate and analyze a couple of things. So we're going to look at Sonnet 18 by William Shakespeare, and I'm going to read it to you first, and then we're going to look at the different elements and we can talk about those as we go. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's leaf hath all too short a date. Sometime too hot the eye of heaven shines, and often is his gold complexion dimmed. And every fair from fair sometime declines, by chance or nature's changing course untrimmed. But thy eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of that fair thou oust, nor shall death brag thou wanderest in his shade. When in eternal lines to time thou growest. So long as men can breathe, or eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee. So some of the things that you'll notice, I'm sure you notice some of the sing-songy quality of the poem, and we will look at that. But looking at just our straightforward elements that you can see, you'll notice that these are 14-line sonnets. There's 10 syllables per line. We're going to look at grouping those into 2-syllable segments to create iambs in a second. You'll notice we have 3 quatrains, which means we have 3 groups of lines of poetry, 4 lines of poetry in each of these 3 groups. We end with a rhyming couplet. And you can see that here at the end with the C and the V. You'll notice that the poem has end rhyme, and it's every other line that rhymes, except for our last 2 lines with our rhyming couplet. So day and May, temperate and date, shines, declines, dimmed, untrimmed, fade, shade, oust, groused or growest, and with the southern accent you have to have to stretch some of these, and then again with the C and the D in our end rhyme with our rhyming couplet. You'll also notice, to get back to that sing-songy quality, the meter here, or the rhythm, is in iambic pentameter, and there's 5 sets of unstressed stressed syllables per line. So we're going to group these into iambs of the 10 syllables per line. Alright guys, we're going to look at analyzing the iambic pentameter in the first line of Sonnet 18. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? So we know there's 10 syllables in this line. We're going to break it down into 5 chunks of 2 syllables each. So, shall I compare thee to a summer's day? So you can hear it has the sing-songy quality to it. And we'll mark those with an unstressed and a stressed accent mark. Now, other forms of poetry and other sonnets will begin with a stressed and then an unstressed syllable. But in this case, for the iambic pentameter, it is an unstressed and a stressed symbol. Okay. And the sing-songy quality that you hear, just a reminder, is your meter, also known as your rhythm. I know you guys are planning on looking at some slam poetry, so this would be a good choice of meter for your poetry, because you will get that heartbeat, that rhythm, and that sing-songy quality. Just a really good beat. Now, we've looked at the basic elements of sonnets and the technical elements of sonnets. So a couple of other things that we're going to look for today, and just a review of your figurative language terms. Similes are comparisons using like or as. Metaphors are also comparisons. They do not use like or as. Both of these are typically comparisons between 2 unlike things, but you see the comparison makes sense with the explanation typically. So here in Sonnet 18, shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Comparing the woman in this poem to a summer's day, saying that she's more lovely and milder than a true summer's day. In this case, it is a metaphor. There's no like or as for it to be considered a simile. Blazons are another example of figurative language. They're a comparison of female body parts or the female form to nature. A lot of times you will see lips compared to rose petals, eyes compared to green leaves or a blue sky. A lot of times these are also similes, so you will see like or as in your blazons. Symbolism is the use of physical objects to represent ideas. So hearts to represent love, you see that at Valentine's Day, night, or darkness to represent fear or sadness. You also see light or white to represent goodness, sunshine for happiness. So you'll see a lot of these symbols as we're looking at these imageries, words, and descriptions that appeal to your five senses. So anything that appeals to your sense of sight, hearing, smell, touch, or taste. In Sonnet 18, you see this description of the summer day, so you can really see and feel and understand what it looks like. A lot of these poems will describe different things in this way, and that we're going to look for that. We're also going to look at tone, which is the attitude of the writer or speaker towards a particular subject. In this case, for Sonnet 18, the tone is one very endearing toward the woman to show that she's compared to a summer day, that her beauty, while it may fade just like the season will, she is in fact still loved, and her love will remain no matter what. A shift is a dramatic change in a poem. In Shakespearean sonnets, the shift often occurs right at the rhyming couplet. There will be a particular subject discussed and then a 180 at the end to get your attention, to draw your... The last element we're going to discuss is topic versus theme. A single word description of what a poem is primarily about, such as love, is a topic. A theme is developed when you describe your topic. For example, in Sonnet 18, you might say that love is not limited by age or beauty, or simply that love is limitless. Thank you guys for listening. We're going to look at two poems and compare the two and look at all of these elements in those poems.